All right, welcome to San Diego College of Continuing Education's 2025 Spring Institution Day. It's so wonderful to see all of you. I am so excited, and today we are going to have a good day. All right, again, good morning and welcome to San Diego College of Continuing Education's 2025 Institution Day. I want to start off by thanking our performers who performed to a song titled, "Today We Are Going to Have a Good Day." Thank you, Golden State Ballet. They were beautiful. I want to acknowledge each of them by name: Savannah, Reese, Isabella, and Sophia. Let's give them our last round of applause. Ribbon dancers are often seen in cultural and artistic performances. They can symbolize a variety of themes such as freedom and flow, connection to nature, celebration and joy, unity, transformation, and renewal. So today is perfect. It is fitting for San Diego College of Continuing Education. As we celebrate and hone in on this year's theme of Be Well, we're going to be focusing on growth, renewal, and recharging for a new semester, but also a new year that has started off with many different feelings. With this, I want to stop and acknowledge that our theme is highlighting the wonderful work that our beloved team does. You know, our beloved team, they work really hard to ensure that each of our students feel safe, supported, and loved. And so for us today, we're going to center our intentions on ensuring that each of us feel the very same: safe, supported, and loved. We have a full day program planned for you, including professional development, breakfast, breakout sessions, and a president's luncheon. So for the second time in the college's history, our NANCE employees are participating in Institution Day, SDCCE. So SDCCE, all 7 of our campuses have closed so that our employees can be included, our part-time employees, so that everyone can be here. With that, I'm going to stop for a moment. I'm going to go off script, okay? I recognize there are a lot of folks that are in the back. I'm going to ask if folks, and I also see many seats in the middle area, but there are also lots of seats in the front. If you feel comfortable and courageous, please make your way down here. I see a lot of folks that are on the back wall. Come down here, join us, come on. Come down here and let's fill up the front seats. And if we can be so kind to allow our neighbors to come in and join us so that everyone can be a part of today's event. Yep, thank you. Yeah, hey, let's give a round of applause for the courageous folks. All right, thank you. I see lots of folks. I am overjoyed how many people are here. All right, so before we hear from all of our wonderful constituents leads, please help me welcome Neil Kovrick to present the SDCCE Land and Labor Acknowledgement. Hello there, Neil.
Good morning, everyone. You might have thought you weren't going to have to hear me again, but guess what? I'm back. As we enter into this space and prepare ourselves for the new semester and the new year, in a spirit of wellness and wholeness of spirit, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the simple fact that the world around us is filled with fear, anger, sadness, and uncertainty. Let us take this moment as we acknowledge the stewards who knew this land long before we became visitors upon it, to be mindful of the importance of what we do to improve the world we've been given. The San Diego College of Continuing Education, across its 7 campuses, acknowledges that we are situated on the unceded ancestral land of the Kumeyaay people, indigenous to this region since time immemorial. We recognize the resilience of the Kumeyaay in overcoming generational trauma from colonization, a trauma shared by many indigenous communities, as well as the African diaspora whose uncompensated labor and suffering under chattel slavery, Jim Crow, and systemic oppression have been foundational to the development of this country. We honor the legacy and enduring strength of these communities, acknowledging our collective debt to their labor, sacrifice, and the knowledge and skills forcibly taken through violence and white supremacy. This includes recognizing the significant contributions of Chinese and Japanese immigrants and migrant workers from the Philippines, Mexico, and Central and South America, whose labor, often extracted through exploitative and coercive means, has been vital to our nation's cultural and economic growth. Our commitment is to foster transformative learning experiences that support Indigenous knowledge systems and practices, and to critically address practices that perpetuate harm against Indigenous, Black, Brown, and other marginalized communities. This acknowledgement is a pledge to develop and sustain respectful relationships with the Kumeyaay and other Indigenous communities, as well as to honor and rectify the historical injustices faced by these groups as we work together to honor and care for this land. And now, if you will please join me in welcoming to the stage your classified Senate President, Dr. Esther Anthony Thomas.
Okay, you officially woke me up. Let's see. Thank you, Neil. I appreciate you so. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here with you all. Thank you, Dr. King, and the organizers of SDCCE Institution Day 20 and the 25. May I offer a special welcome to our esteemed classified professionals and the classified Senate executive officers. Senators, where you at? That's what I'm talking about. Right. As well as our amazing NANT employees. Welcome. As the spring season unfolds, we're reminded of renewal, growth, and possibility. It's a perfect moment to embrace the theme, Be Well This Spring, and to reflect our incredible responsibility to ourselves, our families, our communities, our students, faculty, and administrators. First, let's start with you. Everybody go like this. There you go. Your safety and well-being is foundational. You are the heartbeat of this institution, the ones who keep it running smoothly and make every student's experience meaningful. But too often, you put yourself first. You put everyone else first. Today, I encourage you to pause and ask yourself, how am I nourishing my mind, my body, and my spirit? Being well starts with intentional self-care. Whether it's taking a walk in our wonderful work communities, falling back in love with your passion project or hobby you love, or simply breathing between tasks. Those small actions matter. Next, think about your family, human and fur babies. They look to you for strength and guidance. By prioritizing your health and peace of mind, you model resilience and care. This season, commit to creating joyful memories with them, moments that feed your soul and theirs. And then there's the community we serve. Here in San Diego, we know how diverse, vibrant, and resilient our neighborhoods are. Many of our students who walk through the doors, immigrants, refugees, parents, and dreamers, are reflections of their communities. You, as a classified professional, are the first line of encouragement. A warm smile, a helping hand, or a word of reassurance can transform someone's journey. Never underestimate the power of what you do. And as for our students, faculty, supervisors, and administrators, you're the bridge. You connect, you guide, you ensure systems are not only functional, but are also welcoming. Your diligence and care make it possible for our faculty to teach and our administrators to lead. Most importantly, you remind students that they belong here. Their goals are possible and their dreams are valid. This spring, I challenge you to embrace wellness as an act of service. You're better equipped to care for others by taking care of yourselves. Reflect on the interconnectedness of all of our lives you touch daily and how your well-being ripples outward. As flowers bloom and the days grow longer, let this season inspire you to water the garden of your own life. Prioritize wellness, share kindness, and remember the work you do is invaluable, not just to this institution, but to the world. Thank you for your dedication, your compassion, and your unwavering service. Let's be well this spring, together. Thank you, and remember to join the Classified Senate Zoom's meeting every month, the third Tuesday at 2. 3 T's. It gives me great joy to introduce my friend, the esteemed colleague, the one, the only Dr. Richard Weinroth. Thank you all so much.
Good morning, and I don't know how I can follow Dr. Esther Anthony Thomas. I want to repeat what Dr. King said. If you're standing in the back, there are seats here. We'll be happy to move in to leave you. Come on down. Don't stand in the back. Just come on down. I really mean it. It's a wonderful opportunity to make community, so just make community and come on down. I am really honored to be here as your Academic Senate President. I am reminded of a 1996 film. It's a Japanese film. It's called Shall We Dance? And I don't know if you know this film, but I'm going to tell you why this is such an incredible film. It's a story about people who are learning to dance, but it's not about dance. What it says is, if you are with your partner and you're embracing your partner and you trip and you fall, do you look to see if your partner is going to be okay, or do you just care about yourself? Because the judges notice everyone falls, but what they really notice, and the judges are your friends, are your colleagues, and your students. Do you care about those around you? And the second part, when you get up from a fall, do you get up with a way of saying, oh, look who did this to me, and pushing someone else down so you can get up quickly? Or do you stop for a moment and you say, can I help you up also? Being well and taking responsibility is taking care of our health. But in doing so, we care about those around us. It's so important to think, yes, I want to be important. It's nice to be important, but it's really important to be nice. What I'm going to ask you to do is what Dr. Esther Anthony Thomas just said. Take time for yourself. If you're driving, stop speeding. Stop it. Three minutes is all you're going to get by being 90 miles an hour. And it doesn't work. You make everyone else on the road crazy, and you arrive crazy. So if you walk in late, just acknowledge it and say to the room, I'm sorry, the traffic was not what it was, or my child was throwing up. Okay, whatever you got to say. But move in the direction of care for yourself. The other two, eat well. Stop leaving the house on an empty stomach. Make sure you eat something and bring healthy food, really healthy food, because that's who you are. It's what we eat. And last, get rest. Don't take on more than you need. My friend from the union, when I went to one of the presentations, she said this. She said, you know, your job is your job. Do your job well, but don't do more than you are expected to do because you exhaust yourself. And we're not good when we're exhausted. Be great, be good, be present, but be enough. Each of us are doing great work. I invite you to know that I see you. I know Dr. King sees you, Esther Anthony Thomas sees you, we all see you, but we don't want you to burn out, so take care of yourself. I look forward to working with all of you. I invite you to the next Senate meeting, which is the third Tuesday of the month. Have a great semester. Thank you.
So again, I want to start off by thanking Neil for starting us off with the acknowledgement of the land and labor acknowledgement. Also in that, I want to recognize the DEIA Square Committee. It is with the DEIA Square Committee that we were able to truly develop SDCCE's own land and labor acknowledgement. So thank you all so much for your hard work. You know, I think that land and labor acknowledgement is beautifully fitting for the times in which we're in. If you heard it and you listened to him, we acknowledge everyone, race, gender, ethnicity in that entire labor acknowledgement. And so thank you. And I got to say this, you know, Neil said you all thought you were getting rid of me, is what he said. I don't think we're ever getting rid of Neil, because if you heard as we started off, Neil, you do the countdown, 5 minutes left, 1 minute left. That is Neil's voice. So thank you so much, Neil. I also want to thank Dr. Weinroth and Dr. Dr. Anthony Thomas for such great representation of both our classified and our faculty senates, our academic senates. You heard their words. They're very truthful in who they are. And so I'm very lucky to work with leaders such as the two of them. Thank you for just acknowledging that really rest and resistance is an act of labor and love. And that's what Audre Lorde coined. And if you haven't ever had the opportunity to listen to someone who is so thoughtful, Audre Lorde exactly exemplified that in her work. So thank you both. And so now it is my absolute pleasure to move us on to the president's updates. I always start off with Institution Day, Convocation, with identifying our strategic plan so that we as an institution know that where we are going. So I'm going to start us off and move us forward. We have an amazing IT team back there, so I'm trying not to step in front of it. There we go. See, I didn't even press the button. Y'all are on it. Thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and move us forward. 2025 has gotten off to a fast start, and we've seen tragic fires throughout California. Many of you know that I'm born and raised in LA, and so it has been absolutely disheartening to see what has happened there, but also what we started to experience last week. We also have a new president in the White House. Our college recently participated in the annual MLK parade. And it is important now more than ever that we double down on our commitment to our student populations and community that we serve by focusing our commitments to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah. Last night, hot off the press, I was really excited. The Times of San Diego released a piece by me, which was titled, "San Diego College of Continuing Education Transforms Lives While Tackling Poverty." And so in my own way, that was really a way to highlight who we serve here, that we're not afraid to admit who we serve here. And in fact, we are so proud to serve the students that we serve, that we get to serve here, and who we are as a college. And so this piece focuses on the beautiful work that each and every one of you do, that we do together to serve our undocumented, our immigrants, our refugees, us that come from over 300 different countries speaking different native tongues. And so that was the start to really solidify our commitment that we are unapologetically doing this work. So with that being said, I want to remind us of our goals that we created to our community, and what better way than to revisit our college strategic plan. So we are currently in year 3 of 7 of our strategic plan. Our strategic plan for the college was adopted by the board in 2022. And our strategic plan is a 7-year strategic plan that focuses on several different areas. And I always start off by reminding folks of what these areas are. But if you don't hear from me, you get a chance to see it. At every single one of our 7 campuses, we have put up beautiful, tall vision boards that identify our goals, our strategic goals for our college, for not just us to know what they are, but also our students and community to know who we are, what we stand for, and what we're committed to completing within the next 7 years. So our first one is growing enrollment to support our community and meet district targets. Our second is to enhance the student experience by clarifying student pathways. Third is to cultivate a culture of diversity, equity, inclusion, anti-racism, and accessibility. Everything that we do is framed in the DEIA square work. And then our fourth is to strengthen our commitment to students and employees by promoting internal communication and using data to inform decisions and professional development opportunities. The fifth is to enhance internal and external partnerships. We want to continue to create more partnerships to support the needs of our students. And the last one, but least, is develop sustainable, efficient, and transparent organizational and fiscal practices. Next slide, please. All right, thank you so much. Now, I would like to take the time to revisit the President's 2024-25 goals that were discussed at our fall convocation. They were introduced at the fall convocation for what we would focus on for our 24-25 year. So as I shared, we have our institutional strategic plan, but each of the leadership, starting with the president and each of our division leaders, we develop our own goals that are in alignment with our strategic plan, which is in alignment with the Board of Trustees and the Chancellor's also strategic plan. So for us, as you know, we continue to, for my plan, let me say that, for the president's goal, we continue to focus on our enrollment management efforts with the target of 28,000 unduplicated headcount. I always share this. So when I started here at the College of Continuing Education, being graced to be the president here, we had about 7,114 students, unduplicated headcount. And last year at the 2023 convocation, we set an ambitious target of ending the 23-24 year with 20,000 unduplicated headcount. Thank you to our pre-team. They were able to confirm and solidify that we surpassed the goal with meeting 24,600 students. I continue to pull on that and show that because you all did that. We went from 7,000 students to 24,600 students in about 18 months. Prior to the pandemic, we were about 38,000 students. We did that work together. It was not easy, but it was the right thing to do for the many students that we serve and the communities that we serve. So this year, for the 24-25 academic year, we are raising the bar to a new target of 28,000 unduplicated headcount. Now, I could have said 40,000 because that's how we've been moving. We've been doubling, tripling our numbers, but I just wanted to be a little more conservative in that figure and raising from 26, almost 26,500 to 28,000. And I have full confidence that we can achieve this goal. And to be quite honest, we are very much on target and ahead of target. I'm not going to go over each of the figures, but we are 23% up in our enrollment this semester from what we've seen previously, and we're also about 4% up from this time last year. So we're doing really good. So of course, thank you so much. So enrollment, of course, is one of my goals, my top priorities, because number one, we want to serve every individual in our region that can use our free services to better their lives. We're not a secret. We shouldn't be a secret. We have something to offer so many people who need the services that we provide. And second, by having more enrollment, we increase the funds that the district continues to receive. And now some folks may say, well, why do we want to do that? My goal in increasing those funds was to help with the hope of equalizing the funding of our college to be equal to that of what the credit colleges receive. So by increasing our percentage of revenue and equalizing it to the 3 credit colleges, our hope is that our CAM, which is the funds that we receive here, our college allocation model that we receive, that we're able to utilize those dollars to fully help us operate all 7 of our campuses. The credit colleges currently receive 70% of the 100% funds that they are generating, and for us, we receive below 50% of the 100% that we're generating. And so it is really important that we have those dollars. We have 7 large campuses. You all work at those campuses. I oftentimes get my division leads who come in here and say, we need more team members, we need more employees, we need more NANCEs. We cannot do that when we're still under 50% of the funds that we generate. And so my thought is if we do our part and continue to work hard, continue to increase enrollment, which means that the State Chancellor's Office will give more monies to the district, it will help us in providing to the district why we need to be equalized to the credit colleges, right? So while this issue keeps me up at night, literally, you know, I oftentimes feel like a lot of the leadership conversations that we have are centered on this right here, the funding, the budget. I'm feeling that my advocacy and the hard work that we are doing collectively, but also the advocacy that I've seen with the Academic Senate and our Classified Senate who support us in the District Governance Council, and each and every one of the vice presidents who come forth every single month, twice a month in their respective division meetings and advocating for the college, that we will be able to champion this work forward. Next slide, please. Thank you. The next set of goals is to focus on campus. Then these are still the president's goals. The next set of goals is to focus on campus wayfinding to ensure our community has support in navigating the campus. I want to thank you, Vice President Sabanos, there you are, and Anthony Vargas. We are beginning a huge project to implement wayfinding at all 7 campuses, starting with ECC. Currently, we know that our faculty, you all have been so gracious and supported supportive that many of you don't mind taking a piece of paper and writing your room number on a piece of paper and sticking it outside of the classroom because you want to make sure your students can find you. That doesn't work though, right? Like it gets our students there, but that shouldn't be the mechanism in which we use. And so with that being said, this is a goal that every single one of our 7 campuses will have a campus directory that will have a sufficient amount of signing, and each of the classrooms will be sufficiently labeled. That's a huge cost to the college, but we approved this in our resource allocation a year and a half ago, and VP Sabanos and Anthony have started that hard work. It's a lot of work just to imagine identifying all of the labeling of buildings, each classrooms, and to do this times 7, but they're moving us forward. So that is one of the projects that we will continue to move forward. And the next, we will continue to make progress on fully implementing the approved reorganization by hiring the staffing of all of the positions that were in the reorg. Last year, for those that were here, our college went through a reorg, and with that reorg, we identified several positions that our college did not have, while the credit colleges had, and I'm very, very happy to say we are about 90% complete of the reorg, with just a couple more key positions to hire that some of you may have seen. Our director of IT, which we did not have, and a director of theater is coming on the horizons. But those are just a couple things left in the reorg. So that is still one of our final goals of our 24-25 years. And as you all are aware, we are about to do a major renovation of the theater. We are preparing for the groundbreaking in February. I feel like I've been saying that for a long time, don't y'all? I promise y'all it's happening. So we are in the process of relocating several departments here at ECC who will be impacted by the project and have already began the process with the relocation. I want to thank those folks because it's not easy to move. And so I know some folks have not been as happy to move, but I can assure you that it's going to be well worth it. We've had to move, and I want to acknowledge our A&R department. Our public information office is had to move. Our basic needs department has to move, and that's a key piece to the college. And they have done it with grace. They have not complained. Of course, it's not easy to move, and so I want to acknowledge that as well. And so the new theater is getting ready we're going to break the ground. We're relocating some folks, our ceramics and other area art classrooms for our DSPS. And with that being said, we're developing a theater webpage so that our community stays updated on the construction process. I want to thank our public information team. So what you all will see in the next couple weeks is a webpage that will be sent out to you. And the purpose of that is for you to track everything that's happening with the construction, groundbreaking, what's being moved, and all the way until we finish at the finish line. And so this project is expected to be about 18 months. So if we close our doors to this beautifully historical landmark to this community here in February, the goal is that by December, no later than December of 2026, that we will be opening up and hosting our Institution Day in this beautiful space that coming January. So I'm really excited about that. And last, as I shared previously, we are doubling down on DEIA. I understand that these are challenging and uncertain times for many in our community. Thank you to Neil for highlighting that. And I want to reaffirm our commitment to supporting you and our students, which is why we are in the process of developing a task force to support the many concerns regarding immigration and legal support. The task force will work closely through the DEIA committee to support these efforts. Additionally, to note, our district has an administrative procedure, AP 3415, which is non-participation in immigration enforcement activities, immigration status security. So the board has an administrative procedure that AP provides guidance, including law enforcement's access to the campus, but this task force will be specifically designed and for SDCCE in mind. And what we will do is identify all of the resources available, and essentially this will become the Know Your Rights Task Force. We will place all of the information from the Know Your Rights Task Force on processes and procedures on a web page that will be on every single one of our landing pages, so that we, as the leadership of the college, as faculty, staff, employees, we know what to do in case anything should happen that does not meet the needs of our students. And so the goal is to have that up and running this spring. So stay tuned for all of the questions that we're receiving. We understand that this is at the top of your mind, and this is at the top of our minds as well. Dr. Carter is going to talk a little more about what's happening to support with the Know Your Rights in her presentation as well. So these goals will continue to be the President's 24-25 goals. As you all know, the leadership team meets every summer. We look at what we've done the previous year, what we accomplished, what we did not, and we use that as an opportunity to create our new goals. So this will be my goals, completing this academic year with new goals to be developed for the next year to come. Next slide, please. So while we continue to speak on new spaces, one important topic was the 2024 bond measure HH that passed, which is about $3.5 billion to our district. This is a huge win for our college. Specific to our college includes the completion of the full renovation of the theater project. While we were very excited to receive the $35 million that came from Senator President Pro Tem Tony Atkins, those dollars were not enough to cover everything that goes into the full theater renovation, with the multi-purpose room, with also the museum to come. And I know you're thinking like $35 million is a lot of money. Well, it is a lot of money, but with the cost of inflation of buildings from the pandemic, the materials and cost supplies, it wasn't enough. So now the bond will come in and give us the additional $10 to $15 million to complete that project. The next piece of the Measure HH bond will also be for our career training area renovation. So this is to upgrade ECC's welding, HVAC, and building trades facilities. We will be developing a full, continuously building more in those areas for all of our apprenticeship. And then our automotive technology program modernization, that's to renovate facilities to support modern technologies and processes for ECC and West City campus. So I just want to go back to there. That's automotive, but we also have our Automation, Innovation, and Robotics Center. The AIR Center will also be covered through the bond. The additional campus repairs and renovation will address several campuses with structural issues. Some of them have been identified. For example, some of you are aware that while we have a beautiful campus at CE Mesa that looks great and it's renovated, it's not sufficient when it comes to the rainfall. I see someone like, yes, those are the things that I'm talking about. So when it rains, you know that saying, when it rains, it floods, it pours, literally. So the rain comes in those beautiful walls because they're not sealed in. That will be a huge undertaking. That's just one example of what's to happen at some of our campuses. Each of the campuses will be renovated. And then we'll have also the new central plant construction, which is to build a central plant at the ECC with energy efficient systems. Here at the ECC complex, we will update the 50-year-old facility by adding a student union complex. You see this beautiful student union complex at Mesa College that, almost like the Commons, that is what you can see to come through this bond, a student services center. We'll also have a community room built here for events and a child care facility to help us with our Child Watch program. And then the last one I'll share is Mid-City campus expansion. We'll be expanding or construction of a new campus to accommodate in-demand programs for our ESL, citizenship, job training, and skill development. Just to be really honest, yep. When I say expansion, what do I mean by that? I don't mean to expand that building. What I mean is we've outgrown that building. That building will remain there, but what we will be doing is actually identifying to purchase a new building. So we'll have a new Mid-City campus. What's that? More parking, that's right. You know what? I gotta say, true story. We had a panel of men of color and our student was on there, and that's the first thing he said: we need better parking at Mid-City. So absolutely. All right, so those are some great things that you all will get a chance to see in the coming years as it pertains to Measure HH. Next slide, please. All right. You all, I know, I hear it before it comes. All right, you all have asked and we have delivered. I am thrilled to announce our new SDCCE online storefront is now live. This space is where students and employees can begin to purchase a variety of merchandise, or as our students say, merch. We will continue to increase our college branding and create a sense of pride through our online storefront. The storefront information will be sent out to you all in our next President's Message. So we've talked about this. You remember when we went on this marketing and branding campaign, we had about 27 colors. We whittled it down to our beautiful royal purple. And now this is one of our phases. We're in about phase 4 of how do we continue marketing and branding SDCCE's logo. And so the storefront, consider it almost like an Amazon. You get an opportunity to go on there and purchase. We'll be supporting our students with gift cards, etc. But these are just a few of the items that you will be able to purchase, umbrellas, all of the other cool stuff. It is now going to be accessible to you all. All right, next slide, please. And save the date. I am happy to share SDCCE will again host the Vision 2030 Adult Education Summit on October 16th and 17th of 2025. How many of you had the opportunity to hear about or attend the last Vision 2030 Adult Education Summit? All right. Wonderful. So we will be doing that again in collaboration with the State Chancellor's Office and Mount SAC College. I've been working with our district lobbyists to try to move policy forward to allow SDCCE to receive categorical dollars, the same categorical dollars that our credit colleges receives. And currently, we're not receiving about several categorical funds that the other colleges receive because we are ineligible because we're a non-credit institution. So as you all recall, when we hosted the Vision 2030 about a good 2 years ago, it's almost been about 2 years, shortly after we led the passage of Assembly Bill 634. And so right now, I've already started the work of working with our lobbyists, our state chancellor's office, and my hope is that the summit will once again highlight the necessary work being done here at SDCCE and all non-credits so that we will be eligible to receive all of the categorical dollars. And when I say categorical funds, what am I referencing to? So our credit colleges receive veterans funds. They also receive zero text cost dollars. They receive a host of other dollars such as to support their undocumented students. We don't receive those funds. They go to the district, and sometimes we're lucky if the district gives us, if the credit colleges will support us. But for, in the past, like mental health services, we had to work with the district. We would like to have funds come directly to the district for our college specifically. So stay tuned. More details will be sent out, but please save the date. This is a big part of the advocacy to ask that we get equalized funding from the state chancellor to our own chancellor's office for categorical dollars. All right. And then next, I want to share a few more focus initiatives that we are implementing at SDCCE. I thought it would be really important to share this with all of you because our leadership team knows about this great work, but I'm not sure if we all do. So the work right now that we are fully focused on is San Diego Advance. How many of you have heard about San Diego Advance? All right, so a good number, but not all of us. So San Diego Advance is an initiative focused on the alignment of non-credit to credit work. So the goal is to create pathways for students who start here at San Diego College of Continuing Education to help them navigate the pathway to our 3 credit colleges. Ideally, what we would like is that our students don't start at ground zero. If they take classes here, if they complete a certificate program, we want it to count for them as they go over to the credit colleges. With that, I want to give a round of applause because our automotive program here has done a phenomenal job at creating a pathway. Thank you. Thank you to Dean Lucas and his entire team. And what they did is they worked simultaneously with Miramar College. So students who completed their certificate for automotive, they were able to transfer about 26, they were able to complete the certificate and get 26 credits transferred towards their 60 units that are required for their associate's degree at Miramar. right? Like that is, that is critical. A student comes here, they start and do this wonderful certificate that is in automotive, and then they go over to the credit college to get their associate's degree, and then they have to start all over with nothing counted. We don't want to do that to our students. So with the help of our faculty who have worked so hard and worked in collaboration with our Miramar College faculty and the leadership there, they were able to work on credit for prior learning, credit for by exam, to support students by creating these pathways, and that is the work of the San Diego Advance. So we want to continue to work with all of our program to make significant strides. Just last month, we hosted another impactful symposium across the district. We're doing San Diego Advanced symposiums that are being hosted at each of the credit colleges and SDCCE, so we can have these large-scale conversations so that everyone is aware of the work of San Diego Advance, but more than that, what is the benefit? The benefit is our students. So last month, we had the opportunity to host the San Diego Advanced Symposium. This event brought together key stakeholders from all 4 colleges and the district to discuss how we can enhance and integrate student support services to better serve our non-credit students, ensuring they have the resources they need to succeed both academically and personally. It's a crucial step forward in our ongoing commitment to improving student outcomes and providing a more holistic, supportive learning experience for our students who start at our college and transition to the credit colleges in our district. And I just want to say everyone is a part of this work. Every person who sees a student, who greets them, it makes a difference, right? Like a student can come to our college, and if they don't have a good experience, why would they transfer to a credit college? They're going to get what they need, the certificate, and they're going to go to a credit college outside of our district. So every single person is a part of this journey. I want to thank Dr. Carter for leading the work from the student services side, Dr. Omai, who's leading it from the instructional side, but every single one of us is a part of the work that San Diego Advance does. And essentially, that is why we are here, to make sure that our students advance to their next goal. And next, I want to briefly share, next slide, the great work being done with our AIR initiative. Really quickly, SDCCE is embarking on the creation of an automation, innovation, robotics skills, technical trades, and workforce development center, both at ECC and our West City campus. Thank you to Dean Lucas, Armin, Bradley Dorshow, Aaron Iflin, and Latoya Knowles, and Dr. Minu Spradley for supporting, and Shirley Pearson in this beautiful work. These centers will harness advanced automation, skills, trades, and other essential programs to address disparities in equity. So we know that AI is coming, right? Like, you can't get away from it. Right? You're on Meta's everywhere. Meta's everywhere. AI's everywhere. You're in your classroom. Students are using ChatGPT. All of those. It's here. It's here to advance us, to take us forward. However, we want to make sure that the students and the communities in which we serve, they are not left behind. These endeavors will incorporate Industry 4.0 and 5.0 level certifications, delivering cutting-edge technology training to the communities in areas such as automation, collaborative robots, Internet of Things, IoT, mechatronics, and big data. Our objective is to broaden access to advanced manufacturing, education, and careers, ensuring equal opportunities for all. Again, I want to thank those who have been working on this hard work. They meet, is it, Bradley, how often are you all meeting? At least monthly. So they're meeting every month. Aaron, all of them are meeting Shirley, to identify how do we move this great work forward. So I just want to acknowledge the work of AIR and let you all know, when you hear AIR, what does that mean? It is automation, innovation, robotics, and this is the way of the future for us at the college. And we're going to have 2 centers, one at ECC and at our West City campus. All right. And next, I'd like to move us forward to the perfect. There we go. Next, speaking of skills and technical trades, I mentioned earlier that we participated in the MLK parade last week. So every year I am blown away by what our department creates. So you all know me. We don't have these without what? What? Video. Someone said it. So we're going to take a look at our beautiful experience at this year's MLK parade.
This is the 2025 version of the MLK Parade float. The tree is indicative of education and the key to community, key to growth. Educating the community was a big point for Martin Luther King Jr. What we did was we made a tree. As you can see, it's growing out of a set of books. The students are really super excited about it. They've been diving full into it. This is one of the largest cohorts of students because it's all volunteer. And in the course of a semester, we've really bonded quite a community with this float.
This year's parade float, in keeping with the theme of time is now.
Flow.
Tying in the theme of community and togetherness.
Of 2025. Again, I would like to personally thank all of you for all that you do in supporting our students and our community. Each of them were selected for different divisions. I think you could see that. We had IT, we had instructional services, student services, the foundation, and administrative services. Our hope was to find those that are just unknowingly not doing it for any other reason but to serve students. And so thank you to each and every one of them. And so now, next, I'd like to offer a special, next slide please, a special and heartfelt thank you to Dr. Minu Spradley, who it is also her birthday today. So we gave her a party. So today's her actual birthday party. That's over here. No. I want to thank Dr. Spradley, who has served with fierce dedication as the interim vice president of instruction for the last 2 years. And if you are unaware, Minu will be officially retiring from the college. This Friday is her last day. Your commitment to our college and students played a crucial role in navigating this pivotal period of transition. Your leadership not only ensured the continuity and stability of our programs, but also reinforced our shared focus on student success and equity. We are deeply grateful to you for your many contributions to San Diego College of Continuing Education. You know, some people step in these roles when they are interims, and they step in just to keep the boat floating. That wasn't Minu. If you got a chance to work with her, she came every day with 150% of herself. Even up until the last day, she will do that. And so I just want to say for me personally, it's been a true honor to have the opportunity to work with you. I appreciate your support, your advocacy, and your love for this college. With that being said, you truly deserve retirement. So retired. This is her second time coming out of retirement, so you truly deserve retirement. And so with that being said, I just want to thank you. Dr. Spradley is going to come up here. And before Dr. Spradley, I want to also introduce someone else. You can stay right here. You want to put it down? Yeah. Yeah. Do what you do. Let me do what I'm doing. That's right. With that, I would like to recognize our new permanent Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Masa Omai. Dr. Omai will lead the instructional services forward here at SDCCE. I'm so excited to have Dr. Omai joining our college after a high-impact career at City College, where he started as a student in high school. His senior year, he came over from another country on a visa to do high school, which he thought would be just that year. which turned into a lifetime of a career. And without sharing everything, Dr. Omai had the opportunity to start off at City College. He then transitioned to get an associate's degree. And of course, by way of luck, by way of faith, whatever you may call it, he ended back up at City College, where he has served for the last 14 years as a faculty member, as the Academic Senate president, and as a dean. And now he will be here to support San Diego College of Continuing Education as our vice president of instruction. So we have been so fortunate to have Dr. Spradley and Dr. Omai working together for the last few weeks as we fully transition over. So now it is my honor to turn it over to both of them to provide updates on instructional services. Thank you both so much.
Good morning, College of Continuing Education. Forgive me, I'm going to read a little bit because I want to make sure that I do what needs to be done. Can I have the next slide, please? It has been a true honor and privilege to be included in the CE family for the past 2 years, and it has been like a family. Many thanks for all of your kind words, flowers, cards, gifts that has come my way in the past month. My time has come to pass the baton. So I wanted to update you on the accomplishments of the instructional services for the fall of 2024. I am not to read that, but I presented you all that at convocation last fall. So if I may have the next slide, please. Here are some of the accomplishments from that list. A lot of hiring. We have 3 new deans that have either already started, which you have seen the announcements, or will be starting in the next 2 to 3 weeks. At this time, I would like to take the opportunity to thank, 1, Brad Dorschel, for serving as the interim dean of adult basic education, high school diploma, and high school equivalency, and the CAPE Consortium director. I'm sure you already know that human beings like Brad are rare and a treasure to any institution. Thank you, Brad, for all your help and for giving me a chance to serve with you. Rachel Rose has already received some thank yous, but here's some more again, serving as the interim dean of culinary and hospitality, clothing and textile, child development. Rachel, you rose to the occasion in a magnificent way and advocated and problem solved for your faculty impressively. Thank you, Rachel, for the opportunity to get to know you. Finally, Dr. Abdullah Sira for serving as the interim dean of DSPS and emeritus. You joined the family and bravely moved forward under difficult circumstances. Thank you for hanging with us, Dr. Sira. In addition to our new deans, he also has a new distance education coordinator. This is someone who does not need any introduction, as Dr. Ingrid Greenberg is familiar to most of you. CE is incredibly lucky to have you, Ingrid, as you are one of a kind. Finally, ISO has a new team member. If you walked in, she was already had her working at the check-in desk this morning. Our brand new admin tech, Ms. Atenas Anglin. This is her 3rd day with us, so please stop by and say hello to her. Atenas will be assisting Trila with curriculum matters. And this next item is something that I am really proud of. This fall, we implemented the faculty evaluation plan that brings parity to our faculty with those of the credit colleges. Our well-deserving faculty will now be able to attain the title of associate and full professor, along with the step increase in pay that comes with it. Many thanks go to our amazing faculty evaluation coordinator, Stacy Cirillo, and your academic senate president, Richard Weinrod, who partnered with me on this implementation. Thank you, Richard. And now it's time for you to hear from Dr. Masahiro Omai. I've known Dr. Omai for somewhere between 11 and 14 years. I could not be leaving you in better hands. Your Vice President of Instruction, Dr. Masa Omai.
Thank you. My training wheel is coming off at the end of this week, so I'm incredibly honored and excited to step into the role of Vice President of Instruction here at SDCCE. I recognize the significant responsibility of this position and the big old shoes I have to fill. I'd like to take this opportunity to share a little about myself. As Dr. King mentioned, my journey here in the United States started as an international student, an English learner. I'm always asking my friends that I know for 30 years, isn't it a trip, learning, seeing somebody kind of growing as an adult, acquiring language and achieving wonderful things here. So the experience as an international student has shaped my perspective and value. I studied political science and I kept going, and next part kind of is related to that. My leadership style really is guided by two fundamental beliefs. First one, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. This quote, brought from ancient philosopher Socrates, reminds me that humility is the greatest of all virtues. It encourages me to approach every situation with openness and a willingness to learn. Number two, I believe my role as a leader and a supervisor is to identify and nurture the strength and growth opportunities of my team members, empowering us to develop into the best team we can be. With these guiding principles in mind, my immediate goals for the Instructional Services divisions, as you can see here, are rooted in fostering collaboration, growth, and excellence. I look forward to working with all of you as we build a shared vision for success. And there are some tangible things I'm planning to do. As my wheels coming off, training wheels, I'm going to start scheduling meetings, and some of which I've already done, to meet with all the constituent groups, the 2 senates, and students as well. I'm going to visit all 7 campuses. I already started with West City, and I'll go into the other 5. I would like to take this opportunity of having a very dynamic team, some new deans, some deans in a new position, and a seasoned deans as well. I would like to really grow as a team and expand existing programs by looking at what's possible. And also, as Dr. King mentioned, keep working on this San Diego Advanced project as well. Now it is my honor to introduce my partner here, Dr. Shakira Carter.
Good morning, SDCCE. Y'all look good out there today. Okay. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce some updates from the Division of Student Services, including a few of our shining accomplishments from the fall 2024 semester, along with our plans for the spring semester. Last fall, one of our big goals was to launch a virtual welcome center at our West City campus, which would serve as a hub for all of our virtual resources, student support services, as well as our call center. So I'm excited to share that last September we launched this past September we launched the opening of the Virtual Resource Center and the call center, and since then we've served over 1,300 students online and through our virtual call center. Students can access the Virtual Welcome Center by going to our webpage or calling us at 619-388. Yes. Next slide, please. In addition to staffing the Virtual Welcome Center and the call center, our outreach team has been busy coordinating weekly Workforce Wednesday events at Lincoln High School. With the help from our CE faculty, we've showcased careers in welding, HVAC, healthcare, and BIT. Shout out to our ambassador, Antonio Ibarra, who's been holding it down every Wednesday at Lincoln High School. I had an opportunity to go out to see some of the demonstrations that were presented, and it was beautiful to see. And this spring, that work has resulted in the launch of the first of its kind HVAC cohort with 19 local high school students that will gain valuable job training and certifications here at our CE campus. So they'll actually be coming down from Lincoln High School to ECC to participate in the HVAC cohort. And I want to thank our outreach team, Andrea, Tavares, all of our outreach ambassadors who you've seen here today. They are literally everywhere uplifting us in the communities and internally so that we are no longer a secret. Thank you to our outreach team. Next slide. Our CARES program is truly living up to its name. Last semester, we provided basic needs case management to over 1,500 students. We supported 5,100 students through our food pantries, and we distributed $600,000 in emergency grants. Next slide. In December, 600 students received checks in a little over $1,000 each just in time for the holidays. Our CalWorks team also brought back our Toys for Tots drive and delivered over 3,000 toys to families in need just for time for the holidays. Next slide. Our career services and counseling team joined forces to host a career fair tailored for immigrant and refugee students. Over 300 students attended and many walked away with free professional attire to boost their job search. Talk about a glow up, huh? I want to thank our counseling team and our career services team for putting on that event and look forward to many more job fairs and career fairs to come. Next slide. Next slide. This semester, our focus is on the wellness. With everything happening in the world, we want to ensure that our students not only succeed academically, but that they also thrive mentally and emotionally. So here's what's on the horizon. In partnership with Jewish Family Services, we've hosted a lot of our Know Your Rights workshops, and we'll continue to do the Know Your Rights workshops. These are offered in a hybrid format so students can attend in person and online. We've also purchased over 2,000 of the Know Your Rights red cards, which you can see here, and they'll be distributed throughout the campuses. We just placed a huge order for 5,000 more, and Dr. Garrett is placing another order today. They put a limit on how many you can purchase, so we've been purchasing them every chance that we can. And they'll be located at all of the student services centers in the Welcome Center so students can stop by. We'll also be giving them directly to our ESL department and to our ESL faculty so that you can have them in your classrooms for students. We're continuing to expand our mental health support offerings for students. We have Life in Living Color, which is a bilingual support group for LGBTQIA plus students. They meet bi-weekly at our Cesar Chavez campus. We have a support group called Real Relations, which tackles communications, boundaries, self-esteem, healthy relationships, and meets on the last Monday of each month. This thing called Life is a student-only support group that meets on Wednesdays. And Think It Through Thursdays is an employee support group where you can go to refuel and de-stress. And so feel free to join us for those activities. Be Well has also launched a lending library. Next slide. So you can go to any of our welcome centers. That's Janisha. and go to our lending libraries and pick up a title or pick up a book. I want to thank the mental health team, our Be Well team, led by Dean Novak, Janisha and Jeremy. They're only two, but they are a mighty two, and they do a lot to advocate on behalf of our students to make sure that they are in safe environments. For our faculty out there, you can also refer students for one-on-one appointments. So in addition to the groups that I just spoke to, students can meet with them for one-on-one therapy appointments as well. Next slide. This semester, we're thrilled to open 4 new spaces for our students. We know that identity spaces are so critical to student success, so we will be opening a Veterans Resource Center here at our ECC campus. Our Multicultural Center has been in the works, but the finisher is coming, and we will be hopefully doing a grand opening this spring at our Mid-City campus. Our Mental Health Center, we've been designing for the last about a year or so, will open here at our ECC campus, and we will finally open our pantry at the Mid-City campus. Next slide. Don't miss out on our 10-plus student services resource fairs across all 7 campuses during the first 2 weeks of classes. We've also added 4 evening sessions for campuses that have evening classes because we know that's important for our evening students. We want them to have access to their resources. So faculty, we have a flyer that will be going around the DL. Please invite your students, allow your students to come out so they have access to everything that I just shared with you. They can learn about our Black Student Success Program, all of our affinity programs. They can have IT support. We're going to have the help desk there, and they will have information about the tutoring center as well. So please send your students to enjoy that. Finally, I want to take a moment to thank the Student Services team for your hard work, passion, dedication that makes all of this possible. Whether you're on the front lines or you're behind the scenes, you are literally the heart of what we do. So with that, I would like to introduce someone who needs no introduction, but she deserves one anyway. She's right here. Our amazing Vice President of Administrative Services, Jackie Sabanos.
Good morning, everyone. I'll begin by reviewing the major sources of funding for San Diego College of Continuing Education. So you can see our general fund unrestricted budget now exceeds $43 million, reflecting an increase from the amount that was shared at convocation. The exciting news is that thanks to the advocacy from Dr. King and our academic senate, Dr. Richard Weinwath, we received a $3.5 million increase to our adjunct funding line for salaries and benefits. This is truly a milestone. It's the first time during my time here that we are fully funded for our actual costs. Our next goal is to work on getting the percentage of revenue for our colleges in equalization with the credit colleges for the district. We received a small increase for our California Adult Education Program, which is $4.4 million. Our strong workforce funding allocation this year was reduced and is now at a little over $1 million. Our Student Equity and Achievement Program, our SEEP funding, is now at $4.3 million, which is an increase from the amount announced at our fall convocation due to the advocacy of Dr. Carter. Good job, Dr. Carter. We had strong increases in both our CalWORKs and temporary aid for needy families, which allows us to assist individuals achieve self-sufficiency. And we received a $282,000 decrease in our Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act funds, which is our federal funding. And we also did not receive any physical plant and instructional support or PPIS funding. This is particularly difficult because this is the budget we use to fund classroom technology. Overall, our $58.4 million budget will allow us to effectively meet our operational needs. Can we go to the next slide, please? So the biggest news is faculty and staff permits expired on December 31st, 2024. Beginning this month, the district is going to transition to virtual parking permits. So please go into your employee self-service PeopleSoft portal. It's a very simple process to enter in. You will need your car's license number, though, before you do that, or 2 cars you can add in. And please do that before February 8th of this year. Enforcement for staff permits is suspended until February 14th to give employees a little more time to get their permits and to match the suspension period for student permits. Full enforcement is set to begin on February 18th, so please get that taken care of prior. And warnings will be issued through February 14th, and then your physical permits will still be honored up until February 14th. There will be no anything in your window. It's all virtual. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact Parking Services or your college operations supervisor. So the theater remodel continues to advance. We submitted our theater design to the Department of State Architects in May of 2024, and we expect approval in the next few weeks, which means we will be on the agenda for the April Board of Trustees meeting. And construction should begin about 3 weeks after that Board of Trustees date, which we expect to last approximately 18 months in total. And then check that website for updates as far as where different departments are moving with A&R and the foundation. We'll have that updated as we progress in the next couple of weeks. The floods in January 2024 caused significant damage, but I'm pleased to share that we've completed the remediation of the affected offices and classrooms. And we're waiting to complete the main foyer flooring when we do it in cooperation with the theater, because when you order flooring, you want it to all be consistent and matched. So we're going to do that when we get the foyer flooring with the theater. So that will be coming in the future. The $3.5 billion bond measure HH was passed by more than 60% of our voters in November, and that's going to allow us to upgrade all the district facilities. So the district sold $850 million of bonds, which makes us among the first in the state to issue bonds, so we are moving very quickly. Bond planning for CE is moving forward in conjunction with the projects identified in the facilities master plan, which was completed a couple years ago. And this is a friendly reminder that the district uses the RAVE emergency alert system to share campus safety alerts. To ensure you receive these critical updates, please go into your PeopleSoft portal and enter in your cell phone number so that you can receive them on your cell phone. It's also integrated with your computer and your work phone, but if we're moving around the campus, it's also a good idea to have it on your personal cell phone. For IT, the district IT ended its contract with Tech Systems on December 20th due to budget constraints. But fortunately, district IT has onboarded new staff who are now assisting with IT support. With the conclusion of the Tech Systems contract, we will rely on district IT support as we have in the past. But we are also hiring an IT director who is dedicated to overseeing all of CE's IT operations. And this position will focus exclusively on managing and addressing our technology needs. Please see the list of all the techs who are supporting your campus throughout CE. And as a reminder, we still have laptops available if you need one. If you need one, please just open up an IT help desk ticket, and we will get that to you. Next slide, please. We are in the final stages of updating our organizational chart, which will show all the changes that were made as part of the CE reorganization. And you've seen the quarterly positions list, which I think went out in early December. We'll continue to do that on a quarterly basis. And at this point, if I can get the next slide, I would like to introduce all the new employees, the most important part of our college, the new employees of CE. If you could stand up when we call the category, we have 4 new administrators and 3 new supervisory and professional administrators. Please stand up so we can give you a hand. Woo-hoo. Welcome. Thank you. And now we can go to the next slide. We have 5 new faculty members. Please stand up. Welcome. We have 7 new classified professionals, and we have some on this list and some on the next slide. So please stand up if you're here. finally, we have 2 new foundation employees. If you're here, please stand up. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of our new employees and let them know how happy we are that you've joined us. At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Tammy Foy, our Executive Director of the Foundation.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Institution Day, where we celebrate the theme of being well this spring. During convocation, I shared data for each of our programs. Today, however, I would like to highlight student success stories for each program. You can still view the data on the screen, though. But before we do that, y'all been sitting? I want y'all to all sit up straight real quick. We're going to take a big inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth. And I want to hear the exhale. All right? You ready? Inhale through your nose. Loud exhale. All right, maybe that gave you guys a little bit of energy to hang in there a little bit longer, right? I'm going to start with our Pathways program led by Samantha Stanley. This program supports students experiencing homelessness. We had 2 standout students who went through our program. One pursued a career in plumbing and HVAC, while the other focused on ESL and culinary studies. They are now employed full-time, furthering their education and giving back to the community, and have even started their own businesses. Next slide, please. Next is our Gateway to College and Careers program led by Christopher Williams. This program supports ELL, immigrant, and refugee students. One student who recently went through our program is a single mother who earned her HiSET, completed an internship, and is now building a career in real estate. Her story is a powerful example of how this program helps individuals overcome challenges and create a brighter future. The Elevate You program, next slide, sorry, yeah, thank you, led by Josue Castro, helps foster youth and disconnected youth. One of the students in the program is an immigrant student who quickly advanced in ESL and typing courses and continues her studies. The program also helped her open a bank account, get a California ID, secure health insurance, and prepare for job interviews. This support led to her first job, allowing her to continue her studies and support herself. This student's story highlights the power of determination and the Elevate You's impact on students who are who are in the foster care program. The ARP program, also referred to as the High Roads to Construction Careers Apprenticeship Readiness Program, and the California Opportunity Youth Apprenticeship Program, are both led by Noah Howard. The HRCC program supports students interested in union and construction fields. The Koya Apprenticeship Program supports youth ages 16 through 24 facing socioeconomic challenges by offering pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship opportunities. One of our students quickly became a standout in the ARP program, and once they graduated from the program, they were accepted into the Sheet Metal, Air, Rail, and Transportation Union, or for short, the Smart Local 206 Union, and continues to engage with program instructors and partners since he graduated from the program. A big shout out to Dean Garrett, who oversees all of these programs. And the last program I'd like to highlight is, or a department within the foundation, is the Employee Training Institute, also called ETI, which is led by Corrine Dowdy. ETI and the Partnership for San Diego have completed the 7th cohort of the Online Food Handlers Program approved by the county's Department of Environmental Health Department. This course covers essential food safety practices, workplace hygiene, and key regulations. Graduates from this program have secured paid positions in San Diego hospitality venues. The next cohort runs from March 3rd through the 7th of this year, and this program could not run smoothly also without Diane Atienza. I want to give her a shout out too for all the work that she does. Next month marks a significant milestone as I celebrate 1 year in my position. I am incredibly proud to share that the foundation is making remarkable strides towards achieving its goals, particularly with successful implementation of our 3-year strategic plan, which we are now about 4 months into. Since March of 2024, we have received 3 external grant awards and forged a partnership with the City of San Diego through a marketing agreement to offer our no-cost courses to city employees. We have also hired a social media and marketing consultant to help promote the foundation. Additionally, we will celebrate the grand opening of the Business Resource Center at Cesar Chavez next month, and we will be sure to invite everyone. Please save the date for our first annual fundraiser. How many of y'all like basketball? I'm a basketball fan. It's going to be called Hoop Hysteria, 24 hours of basketball. It will be held at the Jackie Robinson YMCA on October 11th and 12th, 24 hours long. So more details to follow on that soon. This is also the start of our scholarship season, and this year we aim to raise $110,000 in scholarships in honor of our 110th year of our college, compared to $88,000 last year. We also welcome Corrine Dowdy as the new director for our Employee Training Institute, replacing Karen Lieber, who retired in October 2024. Additionally, we have appointed 2 new foundation board members, Al Abdallah from the San Diego Urban League and Rocket Ewell from U.S. Bank. I would like to extend my gratitude to my team, Maria Anton, Karen Reyes-Cano, Gina Bullard, and Kelvin Baptiste. Thank you all for the dedication and hard work. In closing, let's remember that self-care is crucial for supporting our students. By showing up every day as the best version of ourselves, we can truly make a difference. Thank you for being here and for being a part of our journey toward wellness and success. And now we have the honor to hear from Reflections from Ghana. Thank you.
Oh, perfect. Okay, perfect. Hey, good morning. We're the Ghana Addis cohort. Yeah, let's go. We have 10 minutes, so I'm going to ask that you, if you see something that moves you, please give me some deaf community applause, because I don't want to stop for applause. Show me. Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic. Am I just going to say next slide? Next slide, please. Okay, what are we doing today? Next. 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 We're going to talk about what Addis is and how it happened, how we got there, the sessions and activities we did in Ghana. Next. Next. Is there a clicker? What we did outside of the summit. Does this work? That's true. Oh, okay, and some summit footage. Okay, fantastic. Nope. Next. Okay, what is Addis? Next. So this took place in Accra, Ghana. The focus was on Afrocentric education. Next. So the conference aim, next. Affirm that African-centered education is the mechanism needed to lead those of the diaspora to freedom, sovereignty, liberation. Next. So Afrocentric education just focused on centering Black experiences and African communities. Next. So we want to think like culturally relevant pedagogy, differentiating education for our learners. Next, how it happened. So we got the email in January 2024 that the district was going to send 6 people. So yeah, we all applied. The deadline was February 1st, and we all did it. Collaboration, so Afrocentric-centered thinking is not about the individual, right? Support information happened in our cohort before we even left for Ghana. Next. The visa process was intimidating. Zuri started an email chain about how to get our yellow fever shots. It led to a WhatsApp group where we talked about how can we apply? Hey, here's my application. Where did you get your malaria pills so that we could all support each other? Next. So we attended several sessions. This one was the one at University of Ghana in Legon. Next. Next. Some of our speakers. Next. There we are. There's Dulce Azul at China's home. Next. We did some things outside of the campus, outside of the hotels and the summit sessions. We got to visit some local villages, meet some of the local chiefs and linguists. The Addis attendees donated school supplies to the local villages. Next. We got to participate in a naming ceremony. We all wore white to represent like newness and rebirth. There's Zuri. See her? All right. Next. Along with some of the sessions to talk about Afrocentric education, then we also got to see some of the roots of Africa and the tradition that is still very much alive there today. Next. Met some kids, of course. Next. Every morning we got together for breakfast and would share what we did, our ideas, what was going on, how we were feeling, reflecting on the things we were learning. And we also got to meet lots of really great people because Continuing Ed was there, Mesa was there, City College was there, Miramar was there, Southwestern was there, yes. All right, right on. Next. And then other summit activities. Here's meeting Dulce at the Kwame Nkrumah Memorial. Next. We had lots of support at the summit. Like we had, there were several student volunteers, and again, every day we were together, sharing, reflecting, talking about our experiences, the people we met. Yeah.
Can I chime in? Since we're in a group, this gentleman putting up the deuces, his name is Eric. He was very helpful. Today he's having an interview to get a one-year internship in Zimbabwe. He just graduated with a degree in economics and accounting. So if we could all send him some good energy so that he can get that. Thank you.
All right. Next. Every night, so the days were long. We had started around breakfast was 6 or 7. Sessions would go until about 9. Yeah, every night was desserts and discussions, and that's when all of the Addis attendees, there was about 350 of us, would get together. There was like little cakes and juice, and we would reflect on the activities of the day.
Tell them it was through the weekend too.
Every day, through the week, every single day. I'd like, let's go back just a moment, please. Okay, I'd just like to share one quick story because I'm doing great on time. Okay. For the Addis attendees, I mean, these were amazing, brilliant people. There were lots of PhDs and EDDs and people that have been in their field for years and years and years. One of our activities is when we went to the villages, and one brother shared he was scared to go. He said, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to be out there. And I was shocked because here is a grown black man with a doctorate, obviously had some information about Afrocentric education, but he was scared. He'd never been to Africa before. I was so happy that he shared that because he also said, I was wrong. Now that I'm here in Ghana, I have never felt so loved, so seen, so welcomed. This was a transformative experience. I was so happy he shared that, and I think we all had these experiences. It was really rather beautiful. Next. This is one of the days at the summit where we all got together for dinner. This will forever be burned in my memory because we all shared, this was maybe like day 2? Yeah. And we were already so happy. I know I cried. A few of us cried. Yeah. Just, again, mirroring the same sentiments that, I mean, Sarah and I had been to Ghana before. Dulce's been to like 6 different African countries. Terry's been to Ghana before.
Chinesom and Abdi
are from Africa. But being there together, the love, the support, and again, feeling seen, feeling welcomed, feeling heard, it just was a beautiful experience. And then also talking about what are we going to do when we get back? How can we share what we're learning, what we're feeling? How can we get other people here to feel these things and go through these things too? Next. Okay, outside the summit, next. apply. And don't be afraid to go to Ghana. Your cell phone will work. Or you can buy a SIM card anywhere. Look at that. I never ran out of data. Next. Uber. No problem. You don't have to haggle with a taxi driver. You use your phone, you can get anywhere. Next. You don't have to carry a whole lot of cash. You can use Momo. You get an app on your phone and you can send money. Because I did a lot of shopping and all I did was and paid for everything. Next. So your money will go quite far, let me tell you. So if you eat at a hotel, you're going to spend about $18 US. A fancier place, maybe about $30. Here's me and my friend in Ghana. We're eating the light soup, which is fufu and stew. This cost both of us about $1.84 for total. A Coke in a hotel is going to be about, I don't know, $2. If you buy at a local shop, it'll be about 60 cents. If you buy the local Ghana-made cola, Bell Cola, it is 25 cents. Next. Quick video. Let's go.
Wow. I want to say thank you again to those who represented San Diego College of Continuing Education by attending the African Diaspora Education Summit known as ADES. As shared, this was a beautiful opportunity for them to go to another country, but not only did they go to another country, but they had the opportunity to reflect on how to best serve the students that we support here at the College of Continuing Education. Many of our students come from Africa, from different parts of the continent, and so for them to be able to go over there and make connection, and this was done with all of the other 116 colleges within the California Community College system. Each of them send a group of individuals, and we were very lucky to be able to send the 7 of them who attended. So I just want to say thank you so much for sharing a little bit of that with us. The video is beautiful, and all that I know we will continue to learn and grow from you all from the trip. So thank you. Thank you so much, Shasha, for leading that off. All right. And next, I would like to transition to another special presentation. Last spring, our college was awarded the Institutional Effectiveness and Partnership Initiative, which is also known as the IEPI grant. by the California Community Colleges. That grant is about $200,000 in total, and the grant is used to support in different areas. We asked for the State Chancellor's Office through the IEPI grant to support us with two of our areas. One, to help us grow our professional development infrastructure, as well as to support us with the work being done in our pre-office. And then we also asked, how do we streamline or even support us with our communications of the college? And so today we will hear updates on the status of the IEPI grant by Simone McDaniels and Dr. Stacy Teeters. I want to thank you for joining us today and being with the college.
Thanks so much, Dr. King, and hello, everybody. I'm Simone McDaniels, and we're so glad to join y'all today for this just special moment. I love following the trip to Ghana. Beautiful day. So my background is in San Diego, Imperial Region colleges. I've been both a classified professional, working with tutoring and retention centers, how to build spaces so that students stay in school, and then most recently within SDCCD as a faculty member. And now I get to do really amazing work supporting colleges, and I'm joined by my wonderful and amazing partner, Dr. Stacy Teeters here, in this work with all of you. So.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and hello, CE. I am Stacy Teeters. I'm the other Guided Pathways Regional Coordinator serving San Diego Imperial Region. Like Simone, I've also worked at colleges here in the region, including in SDCCD, most often in institutional research and planning and institutional effectiveness spaces, but I also have a background in student services and in teaching as well. So we're really happy and excited today to talk about the work that CE is doing with your IEPI, Institutional Effectiveness Partnership Initiative grant, and we're excited to also be tapping our community, tapping into our values to do that work today as well. All right, this one then. All right, start here. We would like to acknowledge the work and the wonderful efforts of CE and the IEPI grant team. Here they are on the screen behind us. The CE IEPI grant and drafting and planning team. It's really their tireless efforts that have secured this funding, as Dr. King was mentioning, to the tune of $200,000 for the college to help you in these particular areas. So amazing work. If you were on the team, just give a little wave so people can acknowledge you. Thank you so much for your efforts in doing that. We want to take a moment to thank you.
Amazing. So there were also a lot of really important perspectives just represented on this grant team as we figure out what does this look like, how do we utilize these funds in a way that really benefits the community. So we won't read them all, but you can see like this and many more, these insights, these perspectives all inform the work and kind of that direction that's flowing. So we'll keep pushing forward, but just know we're thinking about the full community and figuring out how to utilize these funds best.
As Dr. King was mentioning, the IEPI grant is from the Chancellor's Office to support the work that we need to do around the college. We also, in that grant, have the opportunity to connect with other practitioners from around the CCC system for their peer resources and guidance, recommendation, and advice to go ahead and really be able to have robust recommendations for the college to move forward. As Dr. King was also mentioning, we're focusing on 3 big areas, including professional development, institutional effectiveness, and communication with the IEPI grant at CE.
We're going to briefly kind of go over the timeline here. So you all have applied for that IEPI grant, that team that you saw. The grant's been awarded, and now we're kind of here at the Spring 2025 Institution Day to get some input from the community about what are the next steps forward. From all of that input, what you shared today is going to be brought to the area work groups that are doing that planning, and that will be pushed forward to the executive leadership to prioritize, hey, this is what the community wants to do. These are some ideas of how we can make it happen. So that's kind of the flow. What we're hoping to do is kind of hit these big bucket implementation goals. So there are 3 here. update professional development. And that's the program, that's the offerings, that's how you're able to engage with professional development. It's institutional research vision, so defining that, figuring out what that means for this community, and creating a research roadmap where we can touch and hit and really dial into what's needed. And then last, aligning that communication, like Dr. King mentioned, as well as some website platform redesign. But all of those big buckets should be basically informed, directed, driven by what the SDCCE community needs. And that's what you'll be kind of part of today. So we're really looking forward to hearing from you all.
Yeah. All right, so that brings us here to Institution Day. We made it. You're here in the auditorium with us. Great job. So for today's set of questions that we are going to be kind of doing inquiry around and would love your input is around the professional development piece and also the institutional effectiveness piece. We'll be having an interactive portion during this session and we'll move forward to talk a little bit more about each of these areas.
Yeah, so for professional development first, just putting that professional development hat on, we're going to have just a thought exercise for a moment. So when professional development is done really well, it not only kind of improves our knowledge, but it gives us space to reflect on our work. It helps us figure out, what do I need to learn to kind of be the professional I want to be? Are there things that I want to work on, that I want to hone in on, skills that I need that this institution can help me develop and hone. So that's what we're kind of thinking of. And we'd like you to consider, if you're considering your path, some of the joy in learning, some of the things you want to know about, what kind of learnings would be meaningful to you or to this community? Things like what speakers, what texts. I feel like earlier I was hearing about Audre Lorde. I'm listening to the land acknowledgement. Yeah. What do I want to know and understand? Are there texts, are there learning experiences that are going to grow my strengths and my knowledge for folks in this community? And then what PD offerings or professional development offerings are going to improve my work? Is it something really tangible? Is it something I need to think about, both short-term and long-term, to achieve the vision and goals at CE? So we're just chewing on these. These are meant to spark your mind, so I'll give you a minute to consider. All right. And now we're gonna move into some questions in just a moment. So this is where the interactive part comes in.
Yep. So thank you, Simone. We're going to be talking in this first section around PD about what you want to learn, how you prefer to engage, thinking of your work, your availability, when you can join, and any barriers to access. We want to know them so we can really support your learning and the learning overall as an institution. All right, so this is where you break out your phones. Please break out your phones at this point. In case folks have also left their phones in their office, we can also talk about options to get you involved as well. But there are 5 questions in this section. A first one, very easy. Who's joining us today? We would love to know who's in the room. This also helps us think about different types of professional development that might be helpful for certain constituency groups. What kind of professional development would be most interesting and exciting for you?
What professional development formats would work well for you? What days and time blocks you might have the greatest availability to participate in professional development. I love that talk today about preserving ourselves, doing great work, but not burning ourselves out. So when would work in your day and your schedule to explore some of this? And then last, are there any barriers or constraints? Is there anything that makes it difficult to access professional development and learning so that we can bring that back and make it easier to engage and easier to get involved? So those are the questions. We're going to let you scan that QR code. You can kind of pace yourself through it, but we ask that you focus on the first 5 for now, and then we will pause and we'll go into the institutional effectiveness just in a moment. But these first 5 will be perfect. And if we haven't mentioned, this is like anonymous. Yep. So please feel free to speak freely.
Yes. So, and in case your QR code, your camera is having difficulty picking it up, you can also go to www.minty.com with code 43120318. Thank you for that, and it's also here on the screen.
And thank you to the team in the back with the slides.
Doing it today. Thank you. But as you can see here, Look at that, y'all. Oh my gosh, we have a student with us today. Thank you for filling it out. Yes. But this will be updated live as we're going through, and then we will be able to collect this information and get it to the groups who really are going to take all of your input and all of your feedback and kind of coalesce it into the vision we have moving forward for our groups. Oh, I love seeing these pop in live.
Yeah.
So we'll give you a few minutes because we know that's a little bit to think over for this section. But thank you all for, look at this. This is all already coming in. I know. Great job, everybody.
But we already knew all
gold
day.
Star. Oh,
Like
I know. CE always gets gold stars.
I love it. I see somebody wants to learn Excel.
Yep.
Okay.
Trauma-informed pedagogy, fantastic. Language learning boot camp to better connect with students.
I love it. Wow.
Anything related to AI, also in alignment with some of our strategic plan.
I see some differentiating instruction for diverse learners. I love that. Self-care, book or text discussion groups.
Across disciplines, across campus groups, like de-siloing that learning experience.
Go into our self-care theme as well, so building on that. But this is really the wealth of knowledge and the brainstorming that's coming from you all. So we appreciate all of this participation. Just to give you a little hint here, seeing what works well for this group. We'll continue to leave these open too. I'm seeing a lot of in-person works, but also webinar learning and virtual interactive sessions. We got a lot of good representation in these different groups, so continue to fill those out as well. Also availability. Fridays are looking pretty good right now for some PD. This is also going to be really helpful for the PD team, but we also appreciate, too, taking the opportunity to talk a little bit more about barriers as well. So continue to fill that out. This will be up. This will be live. And thank you so much, Trent and the team back there on it. Y'all.
No lag,
good.
no delays.
They got it. All right. So I also, and we also want to talk about institutional effectiveness and just how powerful it is and can be to really harness and become an engine for institutional growth and supporting the needs of your students, of your community members, knowing how students are doing, figuring out where we are making positive impacts, as well as where we could better support students and one another and our college community. It's really vitally important for us to understand. So that is the very root of institutional research. So we're excited to talk more about your vision for getting involved in that and what might be most helpful. So the most impactful institutional research is really dialed into what's most relevant to you and your work, and that you can feel empowered to make the best decisions in your role and where you're situated in the institution for students and your community members. So we're going to take a moment here to weigh in for institutional effectiveness as well. And here's some more of those thought sparkers. So what type of information and support does our community need for institutional research? What comes to mind when you think of creating a community-centered institutional research vision? And then also, are there things that we need to know about our students and our community to better serve them in the short and long term? So community is also outside service area, of course, but also your community, how you support one another and the folks that are here in the college serving students alongside with you. All right, so there are 4 big areas here. So how do we use data? What data do we need? And how we want data and research shared that's going to be most helpful and beneficial to us.
All right, so in a moment, we're going to get back into these Mentimeter questions, but these ones around institutional effectiveness, they'll start with just letting us know what type of data user you are. So that'll be a little fun,
there's emojis in that one. We're keeping it light as you enter into these sets of questions.
We also wanted to ask you, what do we need to understand about SDCCE students to best serve their needs? So if you could ask students a question, something you wanted to know about them, what might it be? We wanted to ask the same for our community members, maybe folks that we're working around, we're collaborating with, that work in other areas. What do we need to understand about our CE community members to best serve our needs? Right. So that one's a little bit more about us. And then we're also going to ask, what ways could we present data or share research that would be most useful to you? You know, we can't always share it in like an institution-day space like this, but could it be an email? Could it be a video? Would you like graphics? Like, what way could work for your flow in your day to stay informed with data?
Short snippets in your department meetings, where you're at. Oh,
so we'll switch back to Mentimeter.
All right, thank you so much. So we got here your options where data don't know them. I'm a data newbie, but trying to learn. I'm a regular data user, but still have more to learn. And I'm a data expert and use it all the time. So we have a pretty fair split here.
Yeah.
Thank you all for weighing in for that. All right, and here's some of what we would like to know about our SDCCE students. Yes. What brings them into our classrooms, what they need versus what they want to learn. Yeah.
Actually knowing what they need and not what we think they need. Student immigration rights and best practices, how each student might be different. Cultural differences, their backgrounds and origins. It sounds like there's a lot of need to really understand where our students are coming from, how they're unique. So that's amazing. And then this question about understanding our own community members. Okay, so we are underserved community, and or better understanding the cultural and lifestyle diversity of both our faculty and students.
Right.
Goals that we have, that many really, really care.
Yeah, talking about burnout and self-care has been a real big theme of today, and also seeing that come up here in these items as well. We appreciate that. All right. Capacity for input, what makes them excited to be a part of your community.
I love that.
And then this is also going to be really helpful in making sure that data and research is impactful and dialed into what you need, so how we could present or share data, graphs, charts, pictures, connecting with students. Lots of visuals I'm seeing here.
I see somebody saying, let's dive in person, little data sections in person. I'm like, okay.
Heck yeah.
I see folks saying like bullet points, but some perspective, explaining kind of what this is. Simple, concise, functional application. I like it. We're going to take all of these ideas and kind of share them and put these into action.
Yeah. Thank you. If we could switch back. So thank you all for those of you who have participated so far. For those of you who might have forgotten to bring a cell phone with you or didn't have another device to fill it out on, this will remain up. We will also encourage you in a moment to go visit some friends outside. But we also want you to have the option to, in case there is anything else that you might have ideas around professional development or institutional effectiveness in research, there is also a catch-all question at the end too. So we really appreciate and are just so grateful for this opportunity to tap into the community. And so we hope that you see that we're leading with our values here and making sure that it's not a top-down way that we're approaching this, but really it's community-driven and community support.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to talk about
Very fitting to kind of close coming after the Ghana trip where they're talking about learning and knowing in community.
Yeah.
So with hundreds and hundreds of responses and ideas in just a couple of minutes that are going to now inform the work. So there will be a booth right outside, and we want to thank, Juan, Alessandra, and Margaret for being at that booth. If you want to answer more, you want to speak more, feel free. There's also candy at that booth, so I might be over there. But we encourage you to visit that booth. We thank you for your input and your time, and we thank you for joining us. We'll wrap up with a throwback to the MLK Pride Parade, MLK Junior Parade
20 years ago.
20 years ago. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Have an amazing rest of your day.
I love a good throwback. Thank you for those IEPI updates, and thank you to our presenters, Dr. Teeters and Simone. And thank you so much to our entire Executive President's Cabinet for those detailed reports. I'm proud of the work each division is doing collectively to better the student, employee, and community experience. I want to address really quickly something that was said earlier so that we don't confuse anyone. I know when we talked about the theater renovation and the timeline, VP Sabanos referenced April. So just really quickly, I talked about February. It's an entire process to get the preparation ready. And so February is what we talked about in Town Hall, because we have to put up the parameters and everything has to be cleared out and cleaned. So I just wanted to make sure that we were clear so that folks are still knowing that we are starting the work right before the semester starts. All right, so thank you to everyone in attendance today. Thank you to Anthony Vargas, Jasmine Duran, Nathaniel Pitcher, and the entire facilities team who prepared this space for us this morning. I also want to thank, you cannot see them, but they're pretty efficient, and they got a lot going on back here. I want to thank our entire IT team, LaTrent Catching. You can't see them, but they're all doing this. So LaTrent Catchings, Carmel, Ryan, and Hilden, and the entire team who coordinated the IT and audio visual. You all have the opportunity to see them. They support consistently with our tech bar, so thank you to the team. And they were right on it. Slides moved, videos played, right? Woohoo! Thank you so much to Dee Radula, Michael Escalona, Latoya Knowles, and Catherine Napoleon in the President's Office for all of their work to coordinate so many details and logistics that you all don't see, but they did hard work to make sure that we moved it forward. So I want to say thank you so much to Dee and the team to make certain our program this morning ran smoothly. The entire program was designed, and thank you so much to our, again, Dee, our PIO Brenna, and the entire communications and creative services team for developing assets for the event, preparing the swag, and capturing the day. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge, thank you to Carla Grossini Concha, who developed the professional... Yes, who developed the professional development schedule for today and throughout tomorrow and the rest of the week. Also, you got some really cool swag. I don't know about you all, but I'm going to be using my yoga mat. And we always give out a shirt for everyone so that if you would like to, it's your prerogative, but it doesn't hurt to rock it on the first day of school. That's all I'm saying. So thank you to Maureen Gallegos and those in instructional services who supported the registration process and check-in. That's not easy footing to do all of that. So we want to say thank you to the ISS team for all of their support, Janae, Trilla, and the entire team that supports with that work. Thank you to the Executive President's Cabinet, the Vice Presidents that I get a chance to work with, our Executive Director of the Foundation, our Public Information Officer. I'm looking everywhere trying to find you all. Y'all right here. I'm like, poor Roma's like, why are you staring at me so hard? I'm so sorry, but I'm trying to find it right. But I really mean this when I get a chance to say this. Thank you all so much just for being an amazing team and for everything that you do for your divisions. So thank you. A very special thank you to our President's Cabinet members, the deans, directors. If you're a dean, director, and college operations supervisor, please stand up. I see you, Dub City. That goes for our associate deans, our supervisors. President's Cabinet is supervisor and up. They have the pleasure to lead you all. They are the leadership at the campuses. We meet bi-monthly and we discuss things that most folks don't think of, right? Like staffing, opening, closing, the hard stuff that you really can't please anyone. They have to do that work. We're not at the campuses, they are, but they do a really good job with leading. And so I want to acknowledge the President's Cabinet for their hard work. Sometimes we, as leaders, we have to make decisions, but leadership is not about making everyone happy. It's not about appeasing people. And the folks that we get a chance to work with, they do what's in the best interest of our students. So for that, thank you so much for our President's Cabinet for everything that you all do. Even on the days folks don't tell you that they appreciate you. I appreciate you. And our students need us now more than ever, and it is important that we pour into ourselves so that we can pour into our students. There's no such thing of directly supporting someone else without directly supporting yourself so that we can indirectly support others. And so we talked about it today. You've heard it, but Be Well has been here to support our students, and now we need to be here collectively to support one another. And so now it is time for us to get up and get moving. Not yet, just like 2 minutes. Not yet. Get up and get moving into the breakout sessions that we have prepared for you. But you'll notice something about these breakout sessions. Usually our breakout sessions are really focusing on the logistics of the college. We tried to flip it up a little bit. So you're going to see that these breakout sessions are really focusing on the vibe of Be Well. So we have some cool things for you all. The yoga relaxation, gratitude practice, healthy cooking demo. I kept meeting with the team saying, no, let's talk about this. They were like, no, that doesn't go with the theme, right? So I appreciate that they were being so thoughtful about pouring into ourselves. And then following the morning breakout sessions that start promptly at, I believe, 11:30, right? 11:20. Look at me. Don't take that extra 10 minutes. 11:20. And we are on schedule. Following those breakout sessions, please join the President's Luncheon at noon. We will break bread with one another. Please talk to someone you have never had the opportunity to talk to that is not at your campus, just to create community and dialogue. Also note, yoga will now be held downstairs in the open area near the CARES Marketplace. Due to the rain that we so needed, we had to move this indoors. So again, I want to thank you all for being here and celebrating the beginning of a glorious new year. I have to say, this is coming to the end of my next slide. Thank you, Mike. He's like, tell him, next slide. Thank you. So I need you, Mike. Look, you build trees and you keep the slides rolling. Hey, but I want to say this is coming to the end of my 3rd year, and I don't take it for granted ever to have the opportunity to lead such an amazing, amazing college. I thank all of you for your effortless action to support our students and one another. I know that this will be another amazing semester, but most of all, another amazing year at the College of Continuing Education. Before we know it, we'll be celebrating our holiday party in December. So with that being said, I wish you all to be well today. See you soon.